Boom.
I mean, Grimstroke Phantom Assassin's a classic lane.
Okay.
Grimstroke Ricky took over briefly, but I think Phantom Assassin Phantom Knives got buffed is a potential. And I just don't want to be wrong with you guys. I want to be prediction king. You know, we've only been doing this for 2 days.
Managed to predict zero
I'm
so
okay.
far.
I'm okay with that. At least I committed to something
We have
for
not
once
seen it
in my
before,
life.
right? Yeah, we have not seen it before. 0 prediction rate. Enjoy.
Are you serious? In an entire season?
Yeah.
Yeah, never happened.
Well then, I'm ready to break some records as we find out who will win this first series and only series of the day between Execration and Boom, game number 3 with MLP and John X Fire.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are into game number 3 between Execration and Boom Esports. And, well, John, we've got 2 new drafts ahead of us. I'm going to ask you straight off the bat, John, the hard question. Who came out with the better draft in your opinion?
I'm going to have to stick with Execration this time around. Sure, they've got the Sport Tiny on hand, but you've got Palos on the PA. We've seen a lot of Palos PA. It's one of his better heroes. Boom, I mean, they've got a comfort hero for Mikado. They've got the Storm up and running. They've got this Bristleback that can maybe take off. I just have a hard time with the Ursa. Like, the Abyssal nerf hits Ursa really hard. Now he does have the Ag Shard to play with Enrage every time you toss out the Earth Shock. But it feels like PA is one of those heroes that isn't really heavily affected by Abyssal nerfs, right? You still toss out daggers, you can still get a stun off the dagger, and you're much more mobile on the PA. And you also have that natural break, as mentioned, if you go for the Ag Shard with a Fan of Knives, and we have seen a few players kind of opt for that beforehand. So there's some ways of dealing with the durability on Boom, and I think Execration, after seeing them kind of wake up in game number 2, I think they've got the power in them to overwhelm there. Like, even the mid matchup, it's not going to be clear cut here for Mikado, right? It's against it's all down to Yoa to show us some of his mechanical skills and getting a bit more in that initial lane phase.
Fair enough. Bounty Runes are taken 2 for 2 trade between both teams. Very even start. The Execration are going to start off with a tri-lane on the top side, which does make enough sense. You've got the Grimstroke, you've got the Tiny, and you've got Nico on the Centaur. Assuming they can just land one stun, or maybe even just toss in an Inksword Centaur, it may actually be enough to kill off Dream Missile here at level 1.
It's that old school combo, and BDC is already lining up Dream Missile. Oh.
And Inkswell's there. But he's going to block the way for Nico. Still, they'll toss him back. Dream Assault taking a fair bit of damages. Well, we do have a pause coming out at some very awkward timing. Again, I can kind of back up Execration here, John. I was having a lot of issues with ping connecting to SCA today, so I don't doubt them when they say they're having ping issues.
Yeah, sure. Blame ping, Mike. Blame ping. It's not the ping's fault, Mike.
I still won the game, John. I still won that game.
Right. Looking like a good start for Execration. It's a classic combo. Tiny Airlines and Dream Assault. Left or right, buddy?
Dream Assault. Which way, John? Should he go left or right?
I think he's going down, Mike. That's the only way he's going around. He went for level 1 Fury swipes as well, so he really has no way of running out of here. Kezcute already blew his slow. He's going down. That's it. You have no choice there, Dream Whistle. To the range creep, though. It's what XD says.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Just run towards the range creep. You never know what could happen. Well, every player has connected here from Execration. We'll just wait to see if the ping issues have been sorted out. And this is what happens, John, when the panel split up with their predictions. Just, there's going to be no game 3. They've cursed everyone. Cursed absolutely everyone.
Yeah, well, the go-ahead's there. Dream Assault. He goes right.
He's gone. He's going to make it, perhaps. He's fine. Very far out on Dream Assault. He gets himself out of there.
He's going to be very pleased about that. Did have to pop some regen there. Still has 5 tangos to play with. And for Execration, the thing is, do they want to maintain this tri lane? Yeah, you've got the Tiny Airlines, you've got a lot of stunts on hand. You're splitting out EXP, which the Grimstroke and Tiny don't really want to give away. So you need to make that play. I think R is going really far forward here.
Oh, nice Inkswell to Kezcute. Not going to be enough to kill him off, but a little bit of a cheeky play there from RR. Have a look at the other lanes though. Of course, mid lane, you do see Yoe up against Makoto on the Storm. Of course, the panel was talking about it. Makoto, it's one of his specials, playing that Storm Spirit. Of course, we did just see Yoe on the Ember though, performing really well after a pretty bad laning stage. So I can't really give the favor to either one. It feels like it's going to be quite a close matchup.
And you're not going to be pulling out Yoa this time around in the Storm. It's just not the same effect in Dreamo Cell now. Again, being jumped a bit.
He's going to be fine.
You are too
They just don't seem to have the damage output to completely finish off the Ursa. Luckily though, at least for Execration, they don't have any salves available for Dreamer Sellers. He's going to be stuck on very low HP, but we'll have a look at the bot lane. Got Hyde and FBZ there up against Palos and of course RR. Hyde just going to run away from Palos. Could be a bit of a...
Ooh.
Never mind, top lane. First blood does eventually occur. They go after Kezcute and get the Crystal Maiden kill. Dreamer Cell very low, does block the way with the tree. Who was that? Was that BDC or was that Nico?
Yeah, I think that might have been Nico coming out there. And that's a really good move. They finally hit level 2. That's what they were lacking that lane. Execration shafted her early XP gain. Now they've got the levels up. They've got a really massive wave for Nico to soak through. You're going to get the damage going with that combination. You don't necessarily need the Grim at this point. So good 2 early kills coming out for Execration. Although down mid, you can see Mikado trying to play tag with Yoe.
Yoe is very, very low in HP. You can try and one more right click would do it. Yoe has another sleight of fist, but isn't going to need to use it. He'll be able to TP on the high ground. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Palos does end up dying at FBZ. The Quill Spray, of course, going to be very careful about that if you are the PA. Even the Nasal Goo can be very effective in slowing you down and getting your armor even lower. So finding a very valuable kill there at the bot lane.
And this is one thing for the Bristleback. These rune changes benefits the Bristle with a bottle really nicely. Much earlier bounty runes to top up with. You're taking it away from mid, sure, but Mikado still got the power runes to get for himself, and that just means more uptime for the Bristleback to keep tossing his spells out. And a Bristleback with full mana is a very happy Bristle with a lot of damage on hand.
That he is. Kodo. Lane gonna have his water rune taken away from him by BDZ, and Nico meanwhile ties to a neutral creep. Yoe mid lane gonna drop quite low and does end up dying. Makoto able to get the kill thanks to the setup there from Hyde. He didn't quite get the top water rune, but he has the bottom one to go to.
Yeah, and that's really good for Mikado. He's now pulling a bit ahead over Yoe. He's starting to get that bullying off. Once you hit level 6 in the Storm, you can go for a kill opportunity, especially if your Tusk rotates. So Boomer starting to open up some aggression on hand. Their lanes are going really nicely. They're slowing down the PA, although RR.
Yeah, RR, he's dropping quite low. Nice snowball to juke out the Ink Sweller. Now they can just easily get this Grimstroke kill. And they do. FBZ, he'll take it again on the Bristle. And it looks like we are going to have to go through another pause here for Execration.
Just, I mean, they kind of had the same issues yesterday. It's holding out a bit better. Let's hope it sorts itself out here. But Boom are starting to find their own aggression coming through, especially with FBZ. He's off to a good start, 20-0, top of the last hit board. And Palos is just kind of slowing down here. Now, you could argue the same thing's happening to Dreamo Cell. He's stuck at 17-2 up top on the Ursa. Kezcute can only do so much against the Centaur to stop the aggression coming in. And you're going to have to maybe try to get some space out for both of these cores down the line. But I think a Bristleback having this much initial kills is a lot more impactful. So expect FBZ to be much more potent in the mid-game compared to Nico. Nico is still getting a lot from the lane, but it's not quite there. And we tend to see some of these Centaurs actually go for Hood of Defiance along with a Vanguard. So the blink is sort of delayed, and it just delays your initiation impact there for the Centaur with that kind of item build.
Bottom lane, Palos has been struggling just a little bit here up against FBZ. With a slow build-up again for him. I like the Pango. I feel like the Bristleback is a much more aggressive kind of offlane to have, especially throughout the laning stage. And They're actually going to rotate BDZ down now to try and go after this Bristol back. FBZ, he turns his back around. It's still a lot of damage flying out with the avalanche toss, and it might just be enough. Very nice rotation there from BDZ and the Tiny. Make sure they got that kill, but mid lane, it has left Yoe very vulnerable. Yoe, who is still level 5, is going to die once again. Makoto now sitting at level 7 on the Storm, as even top lane Dreamer's Soul. He ends up killing off Nico.
And these are all really big kills for Boom. They're a lot happier with that. Sure, you lost your Bristle. You're giving Mikado such a good lane mid. He snipes the Bounty Rune as well. So you lose that objective there for Execration. And now your Storm's level 7. For reference, Yo is still level 5 on Ember. Really slow start for him. He can play catch-up. We've seen him do that while behind on the Ember Spirit in game number 2. But he just doesn't have impact as of yet. And that does mean that there's not much rotation potential for him. Even at level 6, sure, you've got the Spirits up. We tend to see Embers really look for the level 7 spike once you've got more damage on hand. And to really lock in those kills. And until that point, the pressure's down to the supports to keep finding these kills.
Lane again, they're going to try and go into FBZ, but now the TPs are coming. They're going to try and punish this Boom Esports, going back in onto Palos with Makoto zipping right in onto that PA, and that'll be Palos gone. FBZ going for more, we'll try for BDZ. It won't be too hard to get him either. BZ happily takes that kill for himself. They learned from their the first time around with those TP rotations to make sure FBZ doesn't go down, and of course, with the Bristleback, it is going to take you a little bit longer to kill him off. So they had plenty of time to make the rotations in.
The one blessing there for Execration is that Yoa does get some space down mid, shoving in the tower a bit, but they are wrapping around him. Maybe could force a kill out here.
Now, Makoto's going to be very challenging to kill, though. It's at level 8 already. Meanwhile, towards the south, another team fight has broken out with RR and Hyde. BDZ going to show up with a toss in onto RR, but Keskute now going to get the Frostbite off. Inkswell not going to land, and here comes FBZ right back in onto the Grimstroke. That'll be RR gone. Another kill out for Boom Esports. And it's starting to look very scary as, well, Boom, I think they've been warmed up a little bit here in game number 3.
I mean, 8-3, 1k lead up for Boom. With all these movements out, you're getting so much space for Dream Assault. The Centaur versus Ursa matchup, it's something the Ursa can hold on to now. You've got level 3 Fury swipes. If Nico comes into trade, you can just swipe him down. Nico's still waiting for his Vanguard until he's protected, and before that point, it's just way too risky for him to contest the Ursa directly. He is trying to just get some pulse off, get some steady farm that way. Paulus as well does have a slightly free lane. It is the farm into battle free for both of our cores, and in that sense, you're getting a lot more from the Ursa. Dream Assault's already got the Perseverance up. He can maintain his lane, whereas Palos always has to play a bit safe here.
Boom Esports, they have to be a little bit careful on the spot side of the map. Execration have started moving in. They found Makoto. Oh, that's a big target. They got the Storm Spirit Makoto. They tried to kill off Palos. It didn't work out, and they just stuck around the area. But Execration, knowing exactly where they were, get a very successful gank going. And, well, that's one thing you never really want to see is your mid-storm dying like that.
Yeah, it really compensates for that slow start on Yoe. They get to move in to defend the bot tier 1 just a bit more as well. Love the wards here from Execration. They understand what Boom wants to do from the Dara side. They keep trying to invade that jungle. They've got really good wards here on Execrations and to punish that movement out. There's some vision here as well from Boom, but not enough sentries to cancel out the advantage that Execration does have controlling that bot jungle. So, gonna have to be a bit cautious with the deeper dives. Execration, they're not lagging too far behind here. Again, it's only a 1k lead for Boom. Palos right now is still saving up for the Battle Fury, but is only 2 parts away. You are only 1 part away for Dream Assault, so you're still looking good in the core-to-core matchups in terms of farm, but you really need more here.
Nico, been caught out on the Centaur. He's going to try and hoof stomp, but there's no way out. The Dream Assault will take himself another kill and will get himself a little bit further towards that Battle Fury. Execration.
Dire's middle tower
might be another one of those games where you just kind of bide your time and allow Palos to just keep getting that farm up on the PA. So they are maybe going to decide to defend this bottom tier 1 tower, but it's a bit too late. It's already gone.
Execration not quite set up to force a tier 1 of themselves, and not really lined up for the top, not really lined up for mid quite nicely. They can try to force towers out though. Like, they've got the Centaur. There's an early Hood of Defiance here on Nico. He's rushing the Blink Net, so he's bypassing the Vanguard, which is fair. Like, you don't necessarily need it in this match. You might want it down the line. They do catch out Dream Assault, but there's no follow-up. Like, Nico finds these opportunities. They're not quite ready to jump in on Execrations, and they're just still busy farming up and protecting Palos.
3k net worth lead for Boom, though, is going to be quite scary here for Execration. They want to start focusing down that top tier 1 tower and open up the map a little bit for Palos. Dreamsaw has been fairly conservative with his positioning, just farming that top lane as now they jump in the backside onto RR. Nico, he's in this awkward position where he needs to find a way out of this. He'll stampede, but the frostbite is going to be there, and it looks like there's going to be no helping out, or maybe they will. The avalanche toss is out. It's bought enough time to get him out of there, but now Yo is the one in trouble. Kescute will channel the freezing fields and does get the Ember kill. Who said position 5s can't kill off mid-Embers, John? They can do it too.
Yeah, I mean, Kescute was just allowed to channel there. He was hanging on to, what, 100 HP maybe less? Just get so much value from really good positioning there from Kescute. Good punishment out. They managed to get the punishment. Execration. It looked like they had a window. They are a bit too slow in the response, and Boom just get to run away. They've got a Battle Fury up now on Dreamosel, so the farm for the Ursa can start racking up. You are fairly close to it here for Palos as well, though.
Well, they've got Hyde up at the top lane. That'll be a nice easy kill for Execration. He's either want to take that on the Tiny. Of course, while that previous fight was breaking out, FBZ was taking a massive amount of ancient stacks, and he's looking pretty far with this bristleback. They force in the mid-tier 1 tower now. They're trying to chip away at the HP pool of FBZ, but he's not really taking much damage. Instead, they'll go on to Makoto, but he's going to be just fine as they try to avalanche. Just not going to be in range there for BDZ.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
Won't be enough as top side, Nico has been caught by Hyde, and Nico has to run. He has the Stampede, he will use it, but the Snowball is going to make it. It won't matter. There was no shards up. They could not lock him down. And the Stampede will work out.
It's not too bad. Stampede cooldown is steady 90 now, so you're not going to have too much downtime on it. You've got Battle Fury up on Palos, so you've stalled long enough that the PA can truly try to play this farming game now. And there is a smoke here. Execration wants to play aggressive with Yoe.
Oh, they found Makoto on the Storm. That's a massive target again with the silence out from RR. Is it going to be enough? Yoe, he's trying. He does get it in time. Onto Hyde. He'll try to return with an Ember kill himself. But Yoe looking pretty healthy now as BDZ is going to make his way in onto the Tusk. And they'll get another. Said it before, I'll say it again, John. You don't want to see a Storm dying like that.
No, it's a bit too confident coming out from Makoto. They're not respecting the jump potential here from Execration, not respecting the silences as well. Like, once the Grimstroke comes in to follow up from the root, you're kind of stuck. There's no one to back up Makoto. He's really far forward. Boom, they are still ahead. They're still getting some farm here, but you can see Mikado starting to dip behind. Palos is now ahead of him. He's still ahead of Yoe, which is good news, but you want to get that farm going onto the Storm. I mean, FBZ with farm is great, but you do have to consider the scaling. Like, the Bristleback's super strong, but you really want the Storm to be able to stand in front and fight earlier on.
FBZ diving in by himself here on the Bristle, does get RR. Now Nico's being chased down. BDZ's thinking about going back in here. They can easily get Kescute. Freezing Field, though, has been thrown out, but it's not going to last very long. At least kill off the CM, but now FBZ, he wants to keep going. He's still got the double damage rune active, and look at the damage output. BDZ, he gets used up, and he's gone. Oh my goodness. He's hitting for 400 damage.
Yeah, you can't underestimate Warpath with the DD. Lots coming out, and even the Nasal Goo. The minus armor was slightly buffed. I believe it was plus 0.1 across each level. It's still really impactful. Once the stacks come in, that could be one full additional armor taken away. There's a lot going on here for the Bristle. With the Yule's up, he can get control for himself, stop the TPs away, and we saw that in play for FPZ. So a lot of that gold is sinking
Radiant's
into
middle
Bristle.
tower is
You're
under
not too far
attack.
behind on Dream Cell, which is great. The BKB is flying out for the Ursa relatively soon. Our PA in comparison, Palos still saving up for a Deso. Will probably need a BKB and definitely will need the Aghanim Shard for that break on FPZ if they want to find any hope of really Bristle nice, quick, and easy.
Top lane. And Palos is going to be allowed to farm up. He has more help coming in to boot, so Execration looking for another big team fight. The Stampede up in 10 seconds. Odo, he spotted them out. Nico misses the stun. Odo is being very, very patient to zip away. In fact, they're going to go right back in onto Nico. Soulbind is out now with the double silences though, and the toss up onto the Storm. And Makoto, he might just be gone, and he does die as they even get Hyde. BZ will try and get something for their trouble, but Nico's back in onto Kescute and BDZ. He will get another kill before he dies. And BZ, he gets one for his trouble, but it's another lackluster team fight for Boom Esports.
Yeah, I mean, Execration just finds the softer targets they want. Even if they miss that initiation on Nico, they had the backup this time around. They get the damage off, and it's just down to the fact that the Storm has nothing defensive. Like, Mikado only has the Orchid to play with. He really needs something to help out. The BKB is going to be great once he farms it up. He needs the space now to play catch-up. Like, you've got two cores draining the map. FBZ is taking out all the camps. So is Dreamocell. But that leaves Mikado stuck kind of farming the lanes and farming uncontrolled parts of the jungle, which is not ideal. You need to bleed that space out to the Storm, get the BKB going, and then you could start to play again with Mikado. You could start looking for the angles, rip through the Grimstroke first, and work your way from there.
Bot lane, FBZ is going to start pushing in that tier 2 tower. He will have help behind him in case he needs it. So even though these team fights have not really been working out, they are still feeling confident enough to keep pushing down these towers.
Is under attack.
And it is fair as well, as they are 4k ahead in terms of net worth. BDZ, he's looking for a way in, but he's the only one there. In fact, never mind that, there is a smoke in the backside now. Shard is pretty on target. BDZ has been caught, but Nico is in onto FBZ. Do they want the Bristle first? It looks like they do, but there's your freezing thought, and now Makoto is in onto RR. And Makoto actually dies in the middle of all that. That'll be your Storm Spirit gone. Now Hyde needs to get out as Yoe is going to start chasing them down the Ember and see if we can catch him. Now a double stun is out from Nico in the tree line. They'll get the toss up. They'll kill Nico, but they got Hyde as a trade. Now Dreamocell forced to join in with his team.
Dire's structure
Doesn't really want to be here on the Ursa.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Overall, it still kind of seems decent as they keep going. Dreamocell in danger now as Palos has joined in. Pops his BKB, he's going to try and fight this one out, but Yoe is just kiting him around as BDZ kills off Kescute and Dreamocell. His BKB is wearing off. It looks like his time is over as he won't even get the tiny kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Another bad team fight for Boom Esports.
And they're just not able to kill off these key heroes in the middle of these fights. Like, they get baited in onto the Tiny, they don't find BDZ, and they get the silence off with RR. Yoa just dives in, and again, without the BKB, the Storm is just a sitting duck to all of that control on Execration's end. And you just see a massive kiting issue here for the Ursa. He's going for the Blink next. It helps him get in, it doesn't help him get out. And that's where you really feel the hurt of the lack of Abyssal. We're not seeing any sort of movement into the Ag Shard here as well. For the added Enrage on the Earthshock, that could be really helpful, but I'm not sure if it's something that they're even trying to commit into. Execration, they've got a lot of
Mid
space.
lane, Hyde. Been caught out. Nico will come into the double edge. That'll be enough for the task, but they've caught RR. They can keep going now with FBZ. A nice hoof stop there from Nico to slow them down as they continue to chase onto BDZ. Blanche there. Trying to disengage as Yoe shows himself now as well, but BDC is still being chased. And it looks like they will give up the Tiny. That'll be a double kill out for Dreamocell.
Yeah, it's not the biggest loss there for Execration. Those are two supports. You don't feel too bad. It does open up the possibility for Roche here for Boom. And of course, with an Ursa, Roche still falls really quick. Execration maybe could try to make a play with Yoe, but they don't. They do have vision. They know the Roche is happening. Should make their way now if they want to contest, but it just falls fast.
It doesn't look like they're going to make it quite in time. It's Dreamer Soul. He picks up the Aegis, and now they move onto the high ground. Palos may get scouted out here by FPZ, and does. Zip in, Makoto with the Orchid will silence immediately. The PA is in pretty big danger, as he did not go for a BKB, but rather Deso. Palos being a little bit punished there.
Yeah, I don't fault him. Like, he does need a Desolator, especially since they don't have an easy way to break that Bristleback. Even the Ursa is really tanky at this point, so you do need that minus armor on hand if you want your PA to actually get some kills off. But now it's also time for Execration to sit back and wait for their BKBs. You're seeing the power of Boon start to come through. Mikado was very close to his BKB, one part away, basically just lacking a recipe at this point. And with his Aegis up, Dream Assault's much more safe in the front line. He's almost got his blink, pretty much has it after this tower. So once that flies in, the Ursa can jump in, join the Storm in the initiation. You're also seeing some good build-up here for FBZ. He's got the Hood of Defiance and the Vanguard up, so he's very protected.
FBZ, lane, bit of an initiation down to FBZ.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Top tier 2, going to be defended just with the glyph. Still going for a fight here, Execration, if they really want. They are moving in. Remacel gets caught out, but he gets it very fast and rage. And now a great chance in from Hyde, blocking the way, and that'll be Nico. Going down, still BDZ is into the backline that kills off Kescute, but now BDZ has given his own life away. You do at least get a secondary in the form of the task. BDZ wants to keep going for more. Yoe, no remnants available. He's going to try and TP out. Oh, and FBZ, he could not get the vision for the Yules off. So a 2-for-2 trade, favoring the side of Boom Esports.
Tower is under attack.
Now it's just a great chance.
Yeah.
You see right here, John, just blocking the way perfectly for Dreamercell, and you never really want to be stuck between Dreamercell and a hard places. Mid lane now, Makoto. Dreamercell, he's going to try and fight this out. RR does die, but Palos is on the way out. Makoto, again, another kind of awkward death for him on this Storm. Now Nico's going to jump in onto FBZ. Let's get the Yule Scepter off in time to avoid the stun and go back in onto Yora's Dreamer Cell. Onto Nico now. BDZ trying to help him out with the Avalanche, but the Enrage was there in time. And Nico, or maybe not yet, Palos gets a slow off Dreamer Cell. He may have gone too far. He's going to try and get himself out of this one, but he will lose the Aegis. Could they get him another time? BDZ is going to try and toss back, but that is a great blink out from Dreamer Cell. And now BDZ could be in danger. They even have the freezing field from the high ground. Palos is going to try and run. BDZ, he'll buy back. The Stampede is there. FBZ, the one being targeted on the bristle. He'll go down. Dreamercell very low in terms of HP. But he's going to keep fighting this one out. But here comes Palos and Yoe. But here comes Makoto trying to save the day. He's already lost his Ursa. He's quite low on mana. He needs to be careful here. Palos is not flying the evasion. Is working out for him. And now Makoto is going to get punished for zipping in. Oh, it's a very optimistic zip in there from our Storm. And poor old Kescute. Gonna get tossed up in the air. Inkswell there, and you know Kescute's gone. And that's a full team wipe. Execration looking very good now. They still don't have the net worth lead, but even with the net worth deficit, they're still making these team fights work.
Yeah, the issue for Boom is kiteability. Like, both Ursa and Bristleback are kind of stuck in place. Even with a blink up and the Ursa coming in, you can't jump around like a PA does. You can't jump around like the Ember does. You can't follow up if the Tiny gets someone tossed in. It's just really difficult to get these melee cores in a good position, and there's just no itemization to help that out. Like, you've already got the blink from the Ursa. He's going into the Basher next. Abyssal is not going to fix any of those issues. And as the game goes on, they've got to figure out a way to start digging through the PA evasion. Like, you don't necessarily want the MKB on the Ursa, You definitely don't want it as well in the Storm, but someone has to be able to hit and burst down Palos because he's just getting really strong, and he doesn't even have a BKB yet.
I didn't realize in that replay that
Are scanning.
that the blink in from Palos cost him his life. I was wondering how he died, and well, Static Remnant is a thing.
Dire are
Nevertheless,
scanning.
still a great team fight here for Execration. Obviously, a bit of frustration there. So overall, I mean, Boom Esports, regardless of what's happening in this game, are holding the net worth lead somehow. Still sitting at 6k. Now they've got the basher up on
Radiant's
Dreamer
bottom
Cell.
tower is under attack.
They're going to go back into that tier 2 bottom tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
got it.
tower has fallen.
Yeah, it's building in here for Boom. I still worry about the Ursus impact. Like, sure, you can kill off everyone else, but if you can't touch the PA, then that's a massive issue. And Palos does go for the minus armor talent, so he's starting to make everyone a bit squishier. I think there would have been a lot of value in the evasion talent here, just because, again, who builds an MKB on the side of Boom? It's not being queued up yet by Dreamer Cell. It's not like you go for MKB on Bristleback. So evasion just feels really value, but again, Palos has been living through a ton anyway with what he has on hand, and Boom still needs to figure out a way of stopping that. Even just the shards as well coming out from Palos makes it so hard for FBZ to feel tanky in the front lines. He just gets broken, he's stuck, he can't really run around,
Dire's
and
top
it's just a
tower
game of
is under
mobility.
attack.
A lot of pressure is on Mikato, and I think the Ags timing for the Storm is going to have to come out at some point, just because they need so much control with that one jump in, because no one else can jump in and keep up with the mobility of Execration beyond Mikato's Storm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Boom Esports still just sticking around in that mid lane, just trying to assert some dominance on the map.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Execration, they know that as long as they can hold out on Palos, things should go well later on, but there is a big smoke up now from Boom. Lines being drawn out, they know exactly where Palos
Radiant's
is.
middle tower is under attack.
They are going to miss the train here as Palos does back off, and now Execration going to be the ones that maybe just pop a smoke as 4. In fact, never mind that, they might just run up themselves. Now RR's got one. BZ. Sharp in that mid lane. Makoto gonna zip right in. He wants to go after the tiny first and get the regen rune off of BDZ. The 4-star down. He's gonna save the day. Now Nico goes right back in. Makoto! Oh, there goes your Storm. Dreamer Cell is at least gonna kill off Nico. But now Palos can go on to FBZ and get another kill for himself. And he blinks right in. Kezcute is gonna be targeted. Yoe, he'll take the kill. It's a DDPA, you don't want to be around her right now. Snowball going to delay things a little bit. He's going to try and blink to the left side, but BDZ is there to give the vision, and Palos will happily take the kill. Into the tier 2 mid tower they go.
And it's really falling flat for Boom. You can't have your Storm up front like that. Really greedy play for the regen. He went in just to grab the regen. He got punished super hard. Couldn't use the BKB. Very quick counter initiation coming out from Nico to make that work. And now BDZ.
Oh, Dreamer Cell. Nice blink away, but they know where he is. The pings are coming out. Do they have a way to stun him up? Yoet? No. Didn't have the Sleight of Fist. Couldn't go for the Sleight of Fist chains combo. Dreamer Cell's gonna run into Palos. They still have vision on the Ursa. It's gonna be very bad for Boom. They're not expecting this. Got no vision seeing this at all, and Kezcute is gonna be immediately taken out. Want to try for a Roshan, but there's no Roshan up yet for Execration.
Yeah, it's a little bit more time here for Execration to keep playing that farm game. Boom, they still maintain a slight 2k lead. And a lot of that's really just riding on Dreamer Cell and the fact that Execration has kind of sacrificed their other cores. They are wrapping around again, though.
They are. The 4v5 scenarios, they found Dreamer Cell immediately. Kezcute's gonna buy back. The Dreamer Cell is still locked down. He'll get his BKB off eventually and go on to Nico. Meanwhile, Makoto's holding back everybody else. He kills off RR. Gonna be a 2-for-2 trade. Dream Missile dying along with Hyde. BDZ will still go onto Makoto, who'll use the rest of his mana to try and zip away. Yoe wants to continue the chase. He knows he's very low in terms of mana. Palos will go onto FBZ instead. And they might just get him. FBZ, he's really not that tanky right now. As Kescue might just die back. Palos, he just keeps changing targets. But eventually, he will get the die back. This PA has become a really big issue here for Boom Esports. They don't really seem to have any of the answers.
It's just about to get worse. Palos is finally flying out a Basher. So they're going to have a stun on the PA. They're going to have a long-range stun with the Stifling Dagger if you're lucky with a proc. And it's just not something Boom has on their own. Like, again, all their control in terms of initiation is on Mikado. He's the only one that can zip in, lock one target in, and get the cleanup from the rest of his team. Boom just don't have the same impact. FBZ now, he's not feeling tanky. If Palos comes in with that Fan of Knives with the natural break, it's just so much durability taken away from Bristle that FBZ can't stall these fights out long enough to get enough Quilt Spray and Boost stacks up for his team to win. And Boom needs to find some way to relieve that pressure. Dream Assault saving up for the Satanic. He is trying to farm up for an MKB as well. It just feels way too slow for the power spikes coming out from Execration. Like, they've dragged the lead down to just 2k, and they can line up for that next rush. They do spot it with the illusion here.
Yeah, this is when you would have loved that the Divine Rapier still giving you True Strike here for Dream Assault, but he won't have that opportunity. What they do have, however, is a Roshan. And unfortunately, Palos left the Roshan pit a second early, and it's going to cost them the Aegis. It was literally a second early, and he would have had the Roshan. Just a bit of mistiming there, and now Boom, they're going to feel a little bit safer on this map.
Yeah, it's such an important Rosh to take. I think second Rosh is really the biggest one now. Like, first Rosh is nice. You really don't want to give second Rosh away. Free Ag Shard up for Dreamocell. So you do have that mini Enrage up with the Earthshock. And that can potentially buy enough time for Dreamocell to stay alive and get his damage off. There's still the issue of kiteability here for Dreamocell, but they still hold on to the 5k lead. Execration have to deal with 2 lives on the side of Boom and potentially just a cheese pop in the middle of it. Gotta be a bit cautious in reapproaching these fights here.
Boom, they're still posturing. They're feeling confident with this Aegis up. It's like Execration aren't actually too afraid of them either, even with that Aegis cheese. Not gonna back off. Still more farm to be had. Dream Assault, I mean, he's going to feel a little bit bad trying to go for this MKB, but obviously, you pointed it out earlier, but it's very necessary, and he does have it up now. If they can get a nice surprise reveal, Boom Esports could easily make their way back into this game.
This should make my life easier.
Especially when you've got those shards on top.
Yeah. Boom's got a lot of opportunities to show off that power. Execration are playing really smart. They don't want to fight into Aegis Cheese. They just stick as 5 and just kind of play as 5, not giving the opportunity for pickoffs. Boom will want to abuse that though.
He's been jumped on. They're holding the Fan of Knives for now, waiting for some follow-up, and BDZ is going to be there with the toss back on to the Bristle, and there's your Fan of Knives now, just ripping FBZ to shreds. But Makoto is in onto BDZ. He wants a tiny dead. He will have to eat the cheese to survive, as the damage output was so insane, but now Dreamocell is out onto Palos. They won't lock him down, instead turning back around onto Nico, but this might be good for Execration, as they've gotten a 3-for-2 so far, and Boom Esports, even with the Aegis, are forced to back off.
That's really good for Execration. It looked a bit wonky jumping in, trying to force a fight with Aegis Cheese, but they just get the blow up on the Bristle. They force the cheese out on the Storm, and now you only have to worry about the Aegis. And Dreamocell, if he gets caught out, he's just gone.
It looks like he is gone, John. Yoe's got the double damage, or maybe not. He turns right back around. Yoe's the one who dies. Palos now, the shards blocking him away from the Ursa. He'll go on to hide instead, but Kescue, he's got the freezing build down. He'll kill off the POS1 PA. Onto the Frostbite. They'll get another. And look at that, John. The position 5 Crystal Maiden saving the day again.
Execute just has really good positioning in this fight. I'm just so curious what happened there. Palos was on low ground. It looked like they had vision up the ramp. Maybe they were just above the ramp and they were still on the ramp, that they didn't have high ground vision. But he didn't manage to blink in and get that kill, and that really just ruined that fight for Execration. Props to Boom for holding that position quite nicely. They managed to dig through the mid set of towers now, and there are no buybacks on those heroes, so it's a bit of an opportunity for Boom to respawn Sarah and Mikado. He can zip down mid, and they can try to pressure the high ground. They still hold the Aegis here on Dreamo Assault.
They do. Dreamo Assault really getting through that tier 3 tower very quickly. No buybacks on Execration is going to feel very bad right now. It felt like the momentum was finally behind them. But now they're going to be 2 Raxes down, it looks like, unless they can somehow defend this bottom lane of Rax. It looks very unlikely without Yoe and Palos. There's a double siege creep wave as well. Make things even juicier for Boom Esports. Suddenly Boom are back in the lead.
Yeah, Execration, just one whiffed fight, and it cost them. They kind of overextend after already finding the cheese and forcing the dieback. And now they're going to have to play against 2 waves of super creeps. They do have really good way of clearing that out, but the economy is going to start to sink down. Boom has more control on the map. They can keep farming up. Dreamo Assault saving up for his Abyssal now. The Aegis will expire soon, so they will have to watch out. But the Swift Blink is up for Dreamo Assault. This could really help them out in getting that initial damage off now, and just trying to keep Palos down and killing him off before anything else happens.
Aegis does go. They are fighting without it. Palos needs to be very cautious. He'll jump in with the Inkswell immediately. However,
it's saved.
Snowball going to save the day, and they are going to move right back in. FBZ, he's still alive. Dreamo Assault onto the PA. Palos just permabashed up. The Frostbite to hold him down. They'll get the PA. There's no buyback available on Palos. Now Yoe, he's going to try and remnant his way away. Makoto, he got BDC on the Tiny, and it looks like Yoe, he might make some space here.
Thanks.
Eventually, Boom will realize there's no point chasing him down. They'll go after the final melee barracks, and well, there's a great snowball there from Hyde.
Yeah, he is just, he did a lot of work with that blink. The Tusk save, just giving them that fight. If they can't blow up FBZ with a first use of Fan of Knives, then he is just such a menace in the middle. And they're going to be able to clean up mega creeps for Execration to deal with. No Palos for a minute. They could just go for tier 4s if they wanted to force the issue here on Boom.
Gonna try. Makoto zips in. Yoe. Remnant out immediately. Very low on remnants on this Ember. Could make this team fight extremely hard. There'll be 1 tier 4 gone. Boom just want this game over and done with. This Makoto. He's in now on the Ember. Snowball is there to follow up with the BKB. Was there in time? Dreamo Assault. Soulbind is there to lock them down, but the Ancient is still falling. They are ignoring everyone, just going straight for the Ancient, and they will win out the game. Game 3 will go the way of Boom Esports in a very back and forth. Execration, it felt like they were very close, John, but just not close enough. And with that, we are going to head back to the panel, see what they thought about this game number 3.
Not quite close enough, but at least a satisfying ending to this 3-game series. Boom Esports end up taking it. It was touch and go there for a moment. Phantom Assassin had peaks.